So welcome to another video. Today is actually sunlight, which is really nice. It's like a million times better. So today is, I think I'm calling it Mental Health Monday, I guess. And there's one thing that's been coming up a lot for me recently in the last couple days really has been the biggest thing. And I talked about it a little bit in my video on, not yesterday, but the day before. So on Saturday, I guess, when the whole like fiasco happened and stuff. And it's dealing with like, it's pretty much feelings of loneliness, I guess is what I would qualify it as, especially traveling solo. It does happen, especially I find with not staying in hostels as much, or like partying, because I don't party. So yeah, so that'll be the topic of conversation essentially for today. So first, like, I'll just talk about the feelings that I've been having and then kind of how I deal with it and how I make myself feel better, I guess. So it's more so that, like, as much as I am an introvert, I like to call myself an extroverted introvert. So there are times where I do want to spend time with people, especially like-minded people. It kind of really solidifies, things, whether it be like fellow nomads or like travelers or consultants or like people in business or vegans or athletes or pretty much anything that like I'm into, as long as like we have something in common. Obviously that helps a lot. And in Chiang Mai, it was actually really nice because I had groups to hang out with. I had like my vegan group and then like my vegan athletic group, and then I had like an athletic friend to go ride with. And then I had like a big community of digital nomads and events that happened pretty much every day, if not like a couple times a day, that I could, pop into if I really felt like it, or to spend time with people. But right now, in the last week and in the next week, because I'm like bouncing around and actually traveling and visiting places, it's a little bit different because it's hard to meet people when you're like, oh, I'm just going to be here for a couple days, unless you're couch surfing, which is actually like a really good solution that I'll talk about later. But if you're staying in hotel rooms or Airbnbs and stuff, and you don't have someone to give you, tours or to just hang out with and stuff, it can get a little bit lonely because the people that you're interacting with are for the most part at like, the airport or stuff like that. And it's, the ticket counters and the customer service people and stuff. But it's also just like not having any intimacy with anyone. That's something that I've been feeling for a little while, is that like as much as I talk to my friends back home, to my two best friends and my family and stuff, on pretty much a daily basis, I talk to someone. So I do have like interaction with people online, but I don't really have as much intimacy friendship-wise, not necessarily sex, but just friendship-wise, someone who's close, or like physical touch and stuff like that, most days. So it is something that I'm missing and I'm struggling with a little bit. And the fact that like my dog is not with me right now is a huge deal, because I'm still waking up at night looking for her, where I'm like, I just grab her and I cuddle with her, or like I pet her a little bit or whatever. So it's like that little kind of interaction with another living being that's really nice to have. And I don't have that right now because she's in Chiang Mai being pet sat by some friends, and I'm traveling around, and it makes it like there are gives and takes of bringing her with me versus leaving her behind. And as much as I do prefer bringing her with me, I can't bring her on a visa run with me because she has to stay in Thailand, whereas I have to go to to another country for a little while. So those are really all the big factors that are coming into play here for the whole like loneliness factor. But I mean, on the other flip side of things, I do love spending time alone. I get a lot more done. My anxiety is generally a little bit lower if I'm traveling by myself, because I only have myself to take care of or think of or like process, which is something that, yes, I do need to work on, but that's like a whole other topic. So, Yeah, and it does give me the opportunity on the other side to be more adventurous, I guess, in approaching people. Like, I'll talk to people at the airport while waiting for my flight, or in line, or like at a restaurant, or a bar, or a museum, or whatever. Like, I'll have conversations with people and actually meet a lot more people than I would otherwise if I was traveling with someone. Depending on the person, because there are people I travel with that like talk to people way more than I do. Hence, like my mom and my dad, actually, both of them are like random talking to people. So, so that's really nice. And then like there are a lot of other solutions too. Is that like I could be going to meetups even if I'm there just for a couple days. I could be going to vegan meetups and stuff like that, which are like in every single city around the world, especially main cities. Um, and then there's two other things. So there's couch surfing, which you can just meet up with people as opposed to sleeping on their couch. I don't really like couch surfing, like sleeping on people's couches for the most part, because I need that alone time for myself, and I can afford to have that alone time, so that makes a big difference. But if you're traveling more budget I guess, couch surfing is a great option, and then you have your host to like show you around and like give you tips and stuff and hang out in the evening or go to dinner with or whatever. Another solution is going on tours and stuff. As much like research them first to make sure you're not getting, tourist scammed, I guess. So you can go do tours and then like you're around a bunch of people and stuff like that. And then there's also stuff like I haven't used this yet, but Airbnb is not the only one to have it, where like you can actually book experiences with locals online, which sounds really fun. That sounds like a really awesome idea and something I might try out in Vietnam while I'm there. And I'll let you guys know how it goes. I'll bring you guys along if I do it. I mean, what else is there really? I mean, dating wise, it's just doesn't work right now. But I'm taking time off dating anyway, so that kind of it works out for me. But if you are looking to like, you're still looking to date and stuff, I mean, you can be on Tinder and OkCupid and stuff like that, and it can change with the location that you're at. But if you're only staying for a couple days, then that's not really worth it. Maybe like if you were doing like I'm doing in Chiang Mai, where you're staying longer term, that could be worth it. But again, it's not something that I'm focusing on right now. But yes, so that's something that I really do need to work on is doing a lot more of these things that I'm talking about right now, even if it's just like, finding a buddy to go on a hike with or a museum or stuff like that. But the only times I really feel it is in the evenings. Like during the day, I like doing my own thing. I like, going to the museum by myself, and I feel like I can appreciate where I'm at a lot more. I can appreciate the food that I'm eating more. I can appreciate, the museum or the tour or the hike or the whatever it is, because I'm not distracted by other people, even though I do love people, don't get me wrong. It's a really unique experience to have traveling alone. So there's a lot of pros and cons to traveling by yourself, but I think that the pros right now totally outweigh the cons, even though I'm dealing with feelings of loneliness. But I think that maybe feeling lonely is not always a negative thing either. It kind of makes you appreciate people a lot more, and two, get to know yourself a lot better. There's nothing wrong with feeling lonely. It's human nature to be social, to be a social being, to have intimacy, to care about people, to love, to all these wonderful, wonderful things. But it kind of really makes you face what it is that you really want in someone, to be your companion or companions, depending on your choices. So like, there's certain things that I know that I want, and there's certain things that I know I don't want, which I'm discovering more and more now. And now I'm also discovering more of like what I want my life to look like in the future, and right now, like in this right moment, um, I know what I want it to look like, and I don't see myself sharing that with someone just quite yet. For a variety of reasons, but I'm going a little bit off track here. Um, yeah, I think that's, I mean, pretty well-rounded for the topic. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about loneliness, how you've felt it, how you've dealt with it, and if you guys have any suggestions for other videos, let me know, and like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!